My brothers, my fellow dwarfs, I'm gonna walk through in this video how to actually glow up as a short guy. By short guy, I mean anyone that's at a height where they feel self-conscious and unhappy with it. And by glow up, I mean to become attractive enough to pursue dates and relationships, which was what I assume you feel locked out of right now. I get it, mate. I, Kian, am very small, alright? And I believe that the story, revelation, and results I'm about to tell you is not only going to show you exactly what it takes to become attractive enough as a short guy, but it's also going to give you the biggest revelation you'll ever have in the next couple years. I'm being dead serious. So here we go. At 15 years old, I stopped growing at 5'5", and it was around that same time when I broke up with my first ever girlfriend. Friends started making small jokes here and there about my height, and I'd laugh it off, but deep down it really did feel like I was fucked. Girls aren't even looking at me these days. And at 19, about 4 years ago, I discovered something called the red pill, where the quote-unquote truth was revealed to me about what it takes to be attractive as a man. Apparently, being short made it much harder to attract women. And I obviously believed this because my real life reflected this. And this would crush me deep down. And I came to the conclusion that I wasn't good enough for love. Unworthy of it even, because of the way I was born. Genetics. So I shut down and I focused on other things. I stayed indoors, made YouTube videos with friends, started going to the gym, consuming red pill content, and I got extremely fat. And I mean mega fat, like ginormous newly discovered whale species. And that was my life for 3 years. So there I was, short, fat, hairy bastard, not going out, not looking after himself, avoiding women because he felt like he didn't deserve them anyway, because of his height. But what if I told you that wasn't the end of the story? Not even the first second. And in fact, within a couple months, everything was about to change. At the beginning of 2024, I had already lost a significant amount of weight, and I had just read some books that spoke all about how your thoughts and beliefs shape the results you get in real life. I personally realized that if I was going to overcome this height insecurity I've had for years, and even just attempt to build some resemblance of a romantic life, I had to step outside of the house and start talking to girls. I had to. So my mates and I had a new plan. We were going to force ourselves to do the scariest thing imaginable, weekend after weekend, until we had conquered our minds. Socialise. We even had a little card game, and we're doing this until we're confident enough to approach women we find attractive and break down that mental barrier. And we did. I was prepared. This might take months, years. I know my height will make it harder for me, and wait a second, are you kidding my ass? Boom! The first or second week of us forcing ourselves to approach girls, I went up to this girl that was very lovely, lovely girl, and I got her attention when she was talking to her friend. She looked me in the eyes. I said she looked very attractive, and then she stared at me for a second. Then she responded well. I got her number. We chatted for ages. We got with each other. All right, I know this is quite vulgar, and I don't plan on sharing more details. I don't like talking about this stuff. But the reason I'm telling you this is because, brother, it didn't even take 2 nights of approaching girls for the first time in my life. And somehow, despite my height, a woman showed very high interest in me. That same night, I got another girl's number who I thought was lovely. The next weekend, like 3 more numbers. And it kept going until some shit went down and I refocused on YouTube. That's a story for another video. We don't need to talk about that. Now, at this point, I was very suspicious of the online content and beliefs I had surrounded myself with for 4 years. I had believed that being short made me borderline unsalvageable, right? And I'm sure you'll still believe in this right now, mate. So why was it that as soon as I gave it a single try, just making myself talk to girls, that everything went super well? Was it a coincidence? My whole paradigm had shifted. My whole internal belief system unraveled right in front of me. And I realised that 99% of my struggles with dating for the last 4 years came down to 3 main things. 1 main thing even. 1, I believed that dating was hard because of my height. And I carried myself through the world like that was a fact. 2, I didn't go outside. Therefore, I didn't meet anyone, and this was encouraged by the negative beliefs about my height. 3, I was just a bit too fat for a few years. Look, I just didn't look after myself. Obviously, it was going to be hard to attract anyone, and I'm talking to you directly now, my man. Right, my fellow small man. It's really down to this. You don't believe you're worthy of love because of heights, and therefore, you don't even try. You think it's pointless trying to approach. In fact, If you've never approached anyone you're attracted to, you have no right to assume that you're not dating because of height. You don't go outside, you don't meet women, and you're telling me, that you're struggling to date because of the middle number of your height starts with a 6 or 7 in centimeters. Are you mad? Look, I'm going to be a bit personal again. I'm sorry, ladies. Ladies listening to this. The girls I've dated in my adult life have been 5'5", 5'7", 5'6", 5'7". Obviously, I'm clearly guessing, but I've seen them in real life. You get the point. All of the girls I've dated have been my height or taller, and it didn't matter. We had a lovely time. Do you want to really know how to glow up as a short guy, to become attractive enough to just fit in with the general population and be able to date? I'll tell you right now, and I'm sorry, it's probably not what you was expecting going into this video. 1. Is all online dating advice bad? No. But does it warp your perspective on the real world? Yes, and a bit too much, so it's not even worth looking at it. 2. I had to do the uncomfortable thing and go to places I didn't particularly enjoy as an introvert, alright? Just the outdoors. Pubs, events, bars, they were my main ones, but it could be anything for you. If you're using your height as a reason dating is hard, but you've also not been going out and you haven't approached anyone and you're just using Tinder, then it's not your height, mate, it's your behaviour or lack of behaviour. So just get out the house and become courageous enough to speak to strangers. Approaching strangers is a skill, and that skill only takes a week or so to develop enough to approach the strangers. 3. I was fat. Yes, getting in the gym will make you more attractive. That's just a fact based on what I've experienced in real life. They like the touchy-feely of the art. Right, okay, you get what I mean? For me, being around just under 20% body fat has been enough for me, even though I still want to aim for better than that. And I've worked very hard this year to try and attain that body fat percentage and below. And it does make a huge difference. And honestly, mate, that's all you need. Stop consuming the bollocks. Stop believing your height is an anchor. Go outside more often and look after yourself physically just enough so you feel like a human and not a gargoyle or a troglodyte. The main takeaway I want you to have from this video is that the content you consume is shaping your beliefs around height, and the real world is nothing like what the internet says it is. Height does not matter in your own life because you will only ever see the world through your own eyes. Rejection is part of life, and chances are you'll actually be rejected a lot less than what you probably think you would. 80% of your glowing up as a short guy is glowing up your belief system. Alright, I'm sorry for shouting. Please look after yourself. The world is your oyster. Even you midget.